So 2 Subarus wasn't enough. You guys have been saying you wanted me to get an STI, so I thought, why not add a third?
You got to let it go. 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 I'm ready to let go, go. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go, go. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go, go. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go. You got to let it go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. As you can see from right behind me, we have a 2006 STI. We have my personal 2006 WRX, and in today's video we are going to be talking about every single difference between the two. If I miss some, make sure you comment down below and tell me, but I'm going to try to hit every single last one. So to start it out, I'm going to be walking around both of the cars and pointing out every single difference, at least that I know, between the STI and the WRX. So I'm going to work my way from the front to the rear and try to cover everything that I could really think of just by looking at both the cars. Now, starting out just from the bumper standpoint, the only difference that the STI has is just the badging where the fog lights are. But mine, I used to have fog lights, and this one obviously doesn't come with the STI badging, but that's really the only difference, and obviously the STI emblem in the front. The headlights are the same, the hood is the same, the hood scoop size is the same, but actually once we pop the hood, the intercooler, as far as the ducting for it, is a little bit different compared to the STI and the WRX. Moving on to the side profile, the front 2 fenders are actually the exact same, but of course this one is flared so you can't really tell, but they are the exact same dimensions and whatnot. The side skirts actually are the exact same, which are the twisty style or the STI style. As you can see, they look exactly the same mounting points and everything. Now that we're kind of talking about the side profile, obviously these brakes are not stock on the WRX. I did just upgrade them, but normally they would come with a smaller red caliper that says Subaru on it, and obviously these are the Brembos. Right now we do have the same brakes, but normally they are different. Also, the fact that he does have a 5x114 bolt pattern for the wheels, and they come with the gold BBSs. Obviously the WRX does not, and it's 5x100. Now moving along through the side towards the rear, the STIs do come with this little roof spoiler, which I'm a huge fan of, and I would love to get one if I could find one color matched. Obviously this car does not have one. Also, one thing that I feel like a lot of people miss is actually the rear bumpers are different, and it's something that I've always wanted to show you guys, even though I talk about it all the time. If you look at the bumper itself from the back, it looks fairly the same, but actually the side molding on the STI, I've said multiple times before, actually flares out, goes up, goes down, goes across, so it has like a mini flare on it stock. It protrudes out here, it also protrudes out right at the bottom. So Carlton flares are for STIs. That's why I have actually a space right here, because my car doesn't flare out at the top nor at the bottom. That's why I do want an STI rear bumper, so the flares would fit better. Now, of course, the main difference that everyone already knows is the STI does come with a huge wing, and the WRX comes with a smaller one, but of course this one is not the stock trunk. It just comes with the little small wing, which I will put a picture right here so you guys can actually kind of see the difference. And also STIs, I'm not sure if all of them come with it, but there is a little mini diffuser there, if you can kind of see right there. I'm pretty sure it comes in all of them, but don't quote me on that. And obviously WRX's, it does not. Moving on to the interior of the WRX, I've said multiple times before, I am not a fan of the stock gauges that come in here. They're super boring, really bland. It just says Impreza on it. Nothing special really about it. But if you look at the STI's gauges, you could see they're actually red. They illuminate. They're a lot better. Also, moving along from the gauges, you can see the steering wheel is obviously different. This one has the STI on there. And kind of just moving along, it has blue carpets all the way throughout the car. Obviously the blue STI seats, and of course the 6-speed transmission you could see there. We'll talk about more of that in detail in just a little bit. Also, you could see this is the center diff control and the DCCD controller right there, which is a huge difference between the WRX and the STI, and of course I wish I had it. And just a quick look in the inside, you could see what I didn't even know is it actually comes with blue door cards, which I, for whatever reason, thought they were just all black, but STIs actually do come with the blue in the inside of the door cards, which is actually pretty sick. Yeah, pretty jealous. Just so you guys can see, I actually obviously don't have blue carpet. I have the black carpet and the black interior, just like that. That is the main difference. Now moving on to the specific engine differences from a stock WRX to a stock STI. Obviously this is not what a stock WRX is going to look like, but I'm going to inform you guys as far as the differences for the compression ratios, the piston size, the intercooler size. I'll get into all that in just a little bit. Now just visually, if you're trying to decipher between an STI and a WRX, it's pretty easy, obviously, because this comes stock. The intercooler is slightly bigger on the STI. Obviously it's going to have the STI badging right there, and it's going to be a wrinkle red intake manifold, and the turbo is going to be a little bit different. All this guy is going to be stock, just like that. Moving over to the WRX, if I had a stock intercooler, like I said, it's a little bit smaller, and the intake manifold's actually not painted. It's normally just a silver color, and that's pretty much, as far as the outside differences, the only difference. Now moving on to the specific engine differences, and actually the engines are called different things. For the WRX for 2006, 2007, it comes with an EJ255, and the STI is an EJ257, and with that there's actually kind of a lot of differences. That being, the cylinder heads are actually going to be different, and the casting is actually going to be different. If we could see down here, oh, you could barely see it, but from what I understand, the WRX heads, oh, I wish you could see the casting, I believe they are D25 heads, and the difference between the STI, they have a different casting number, which I can't think of on the top of my head, but the STI actually has a larger combustion chamber than the WRX does, and that's kind of the largest difference between the two. And also the pistons in the STI are actually slightly different than the WRX. Now moving along, as far as the rotating assembly, like I said, is slightly different, and also the cylinder head size is slightly different. Moving along towards the outside, the turbo is obviously going to be a little bit bigger on the STI. I believe it's the VF39 for this, and then as far as the WRX, it's going to be a little bit smaller, but obviously I don't have the stock one to show you. Now also as well for the WRX, it's actually going to have a little bit smaller injector size than the STI does, which of course it's going to need for the bigger turbo. Now I'm probably forgetting something as far as the engine goes, but I can't really think of anything else right now. So now I'm going to move on to the drivetrain, and that's pretty much it. So, of course, the largest difference between the STI and the WRX is the fact that the STI has a much larger transmission, which is a 6-speed. You could see the size difference, how huge his transmission is down there. And then moving along to my little baby 5-speed. Very, very small. Now, connected to the 6-speed transmission is going to be the fact that he has larger axles and a center diff, because obviously he has a center diff controller. Maybe if I can even see underneath, I'm gonna go for it. See if you can see. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see under there. Anyway, he has the ability to change as far as where he wants the power to go, towards the front or the rear, with the little controller right there. And obviously you could see, as far as the 6-speed goes, his reverse, actually, you pull up on this, it's in the same position, but the 6-speed is going to have this guy right here, and of course the 5-speed is not going to have that little reverse lockout. So I kind of wish I counted all of the differences that I have said, but as you can see, there is a lot more differences than I originally thought there was. And just kind of being in this Subaru community and owning a Subaru for a long time, I've figured out all these differences that a lot of people kind of seem to glance over, but it actually, all the difference that I've said is pretty important to me as far as owning the car, and I kind of wish I knew all of them before purchasing my WRX. One last thing I forgot to add is I'm pretty sure that the master cylinder size is actually different for the WRX and the STI. If you could see this guy here, it actually has a casting on it that says 627, and just visually it looks a little bit smaller than the one that's on the STI. Obviously this has Brembos, and you can see it's a little bit different in size and kind of shape, and it doesn't have any casting on it at the end, which I think is a little bit interesting, and I'm pretty sure that they are in fact different size for the Brembos. I'm sure somehow I have missed some sort of really small thing that is different between a WRX and STI, but those are the main things that I have figured out over time, kind of just owning a Subaru, and just little nuances that are going to be slightly different between a WRX and an STI. I'm sure one of those things you probably didn't know, and if you knew all of them, then I am pretty impressed with you. But I think that's pretty much going to be it for this video. Again, I would like to thank Mike over here. I think he's a little shy, but I'll show him anyway. I'd like to thank Mike for letting me use, it's actually 2007 STI. So if someone was commenting and saying that like this is from 2007, I was mistaken. I thought it was 2006. It's actually a 2007 STI, and of course this is 2006 WRX, but obviously they're both Hawkeyes, so I thought it was a perfect comparison. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or if there's any other differences that I had missed, please comment down below. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you. Fuck my god, damn it, I messed up. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.